in Nigeria as a case study. Yeah, so I would like to use Plug-Atin as a case study. This is a recent event that happened in Abuja on September 16th to commemorate World Cleanup Day. And it's actually an event that is for a marathon, but for the marathon, you have to jog and also pick waste along. It's a 10-kilometer race, but you're not just racing. It is a race for the planet. It is a race to beat plastic pollution. It is a race for loss and damage, for climate finance. So it's not just a race of first person to get there. You can see someone carrying the waste here. You can see people, and when you let people know the impact of what they are doing, they do it with joy. And you can see everyone, you can see the beautiful faces, the smiling faces. And after the event, it did not just stop there. The community engagement. It is not just after the race. People still need to know, oh, this race, this is the essence of it. This is what we can do as a group. This is what we can achieve. So the community engagement, that's what we still had the community engagement after the session, where we had speakers to actually enlighten people. You know, some persons came just for the fun of it. Some persons came because, oh, my friend is going, oh, it's a Saturday, I'm actually less busy. Let me just go have fun. So people came for different reasons. And from there, we're able to now gather people. Oh, do you know this that you have done can actually has this impact, can actually lead to this. You have actually saved the animals in the ocean. You know, indiscriminate waste disposal too. It has its own ripple effects. By the time you finish taking a bottle of Coke and you just fling your bottle, it is going somewhere. Eventually, it will enter the drainage, and from there, it will be washed into the ocean. But do we actually care about the lives below this water? I mean, it is not only, we are not the only ones. Just like we mentioned the whole echo and ego. We are not the only one. And I think Jisam Taiwo also mentioned that the planet can actually survive without man, because we are not the only one. The ecosystem can survive without man, as the ecosystem is comprised of so many other organisms and not just man. So we need to take care of it. We need to be very careful. So yeah, it's been a wonderful night, wonderful evening from everyone here. I appreciate your patience, your attentiveness, and your cooperation, because I was asking questions at intervals and you were there to respond. So yeah, it is the time to shine now. Let's have the question and answer session where we also enlighten ourselves. I mean, you could have your reservations or your own input too. So kindly signify if you have contribution to this. Thank you.
If you have questions, let us know in the chat box.
You can raise your hand so I can ask you on mute if you want to speak. All right, I think we have Ebony. The person says there is a question. Ebony, are you still with us? Kindly ask your question now.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Can you hear me, please?
Hi, good evening.
Okay, my question is this concerning the sports. I want to know if the only, not like the only influence, but the main influence is just the influence that maybe the celebrities or the I don't know how to call them have on the fans, or what other this. For example, like my own, it's I'm in golf. I know, okay, we have people like Tiger Woods that are popular and they can influence people. But aside that, what else do they really, aside, because not all sports use the sustainability, maybe kit or whatever. So is it just the influence that's a major thing that has to do with sports? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. So you mentioned kids now. You also mentioned their influence. That's you mentioned too. Apart from using the kits, their own personal branding, they can use that one to promote it. And apart from that, those of us on the call now, we have people from different fields. Remember that we mentioned sustainable stadium then. I mean, the design and construction of that. If you are in charge of designing a stadium or constructing, it might not be stadium, anything around it. You can also, the same way you would think before you throw, you also need to always think sustainably. Oh, how can I imbibe that sustainability in this particular project? So it might be from the designer perspective, the engineer perspective, that's just constructing the place, or the project manager himself. So there are different angles to it. Then as persons, as individuals too. Now, what's this match that is ongoing now? This popular one that we all go to watch. Champions League is on now. When guys go to the showroom, I said showroom. I want to buy something. When guys go to the viewing center now, I've been there before and I see the way people just enter with their drink and gala and something and they just take it and just anyhow. As a person now, as a student of this academy, you can actually approach the person in charge of the viewing center. So you can actually approach the person in charge of the viewing center. Why not let us have a dustbin here? This, that. So those are also different ways to influence environmental sustainability. I mean, it's just for you to be like our second class where you were taught eco-conscious. The first thing is for you to be eco-conscious. And by the time you are eco-conscious, there's no how. You always want to think sustainably. That's not how you get to somewhere. Once you identify something, even if you do not have an immediate solution or something. I mean, Green Switch Academy now, it's like a common group where a group where you have like-minded people who are actually championing environmental change.
That's
you can actually approach such group and hear your idea. Oh, I noticed this, I saw this. What do you think about it? I don't have an idea of how we can go about it, but I know this is a problem. How best do you think we can do this to make it better? I mean, if you actually have the money, in the case of the viewing center, it could be you going there the next time with a small dustbin and you just put it by the corner for people to use. It could be discussing with the guy at the viewing center and, when you drop dustbin, just paste a small placard for people to use the dustbin and all. So it's not only about them, it's about the guys on the track. It's about us hailing them. Remember we have the fan engagement. Us, they are fans as well. So it's about those supplying the utilities, the equipment that are also used. So it is all encompassing. I hope I answered your question. Any other question, please? Yeah, okay, so I have a question. Why is it that sometimes recycled products are more expensive than products with less eco-friendly raw materials. Okay, I will just use a particular one as case study. But I like the fact that you said sometimes, not always really, but sometimes. I remember I saw a pair of shoe on Planet 3 House media page, and I loved the shoe. But yes, it's actually expensive. And I was like, this shoe compared to this, that, and just like I said, no man is an island of knowledge. So I actually approached some set of persons to ask this same question, and I got different answers. And what I tried to finalize them, to summarize them, and what I deduced from those responses that, one, the energy some of these companies used to produce this material, hadn't been we are in a place where the access to funding to some of these sustainability initiatives are being promoted to have been easier and subsidized. So this way there's their inputs when it comes to energy to produce that one is costing them. And if it were to be, and most times they are not now still producing on a large scale because the product is not popularly known as the ones that I'll call cliche now. So they are not producing, they are not making that mass production. But you know, there is this thing in production. The more you produce, I mean, in terms of, speaking of quantity now, more like the higher the quantity, the lesser the price in a way, because it is still that same energy, but you are now just multiplying it. So that is usually a major thing, but this can actually vary based on the different material we are talking about now in particular. I hope I answered your question, Damilola.
Wow, that was pretty mind blowing. Thank you so much, Jisam. Thank you so much. I told you guys that it's going to be insightful and it's going to be wonderful. Can you see? It's fascinating, eye-opening, and insightful. Thank you so much, Jisam. So moving on quickly because of our time, we're going to go to our WhatsApp now as we move from here and appreciate Jisam Ramat. I'm going to go to WhatsApp, to the WhatsApp group, and tell her, appreciate her. Thank you, Jisam, because this thing is not something you find anywhere. So please go and appreciate her. She really tried for us. Thank you, Jisam. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And we enjoy this session. Thank you. So let's move now. Let's move. Or do we still have any question? I think that's all for questions. So let's move to WhatsApp now. So thank you. See you on WhatsApp. We can leave now. We can leave now. We can leave. I'm waiting for more people to leave. We can leave now.